Let's go, Falcons. This is a big one. We're talking about a possible move that could seriously boost our defense and bring much-needed help to our pass rush. So make sure to hit that like button and stick around as we break it all down. Could the Falcons be looking to trade for Philadelphia Eagles edge rusher Bryce Huff? Let's dive in. The Eagles are fresh off another Super Bowl win, and everyone is praising General Manager Howie Roseman for building a championship roster. But here's the thing, one of his biggest free agency mistakes might have gone unnoticed. That mistake? Bryce Huff. Last March, the Eagles signed Huff to a massive 3-year, $51.1 million contract. He was supposed to be a key part of their defense. But when the biggest game of the season arrived, the Eagles didn't even dress him. Think about that. They paid him $17 million per year, and he didn't even suit up for the Super Bowl. That's not just a bad sign. That's a huge red flag. Now, the Eagles are facing tough salary cap decisions. Cutting Huff isn't a great option because of all the guaranteed money in his deal. But a trade? That could work. According to ESPN's Aaron Schatz, the Falcons could be a perfect landing spot for Huff, and when you connect the dots, it makes a lot of sense. Atlanta is desperate for pass rush help. Anyone who watched last season knows that. The Falcons finished near the bottom of the league in sacks, and outside of a few bright spots, the defensive line just didn't get the job done. That's where Bryce Huff comes in. Sure, his time in Philadelphia wasn't great, but let's not forget what he did with the Jets in 2023. He racked up 10 sacks in a rotational role under defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich. And guess what? Ulbrich is now with the Falcons. He knows exactly how to use Huff. Could this be the move that finally gives Atlanta's defense the pass rush it needs? Let's keep going. The Eagles have no leverage. Falcons can take advantage. The Eagles don't have much bargaining power here. Everyone knows they want to move on from Bryce Huff, and that could work in the Falcons' favor when negotiating a trade. ESPN's Aaron Schatz suggests that if the Eagles trade Huff, they'd likely use a post-June Warren designation. This would free up some cap space for Philadelphia, while allowing Atlanta to bring Huff in without taking on the full financial burden of his contract. What would it cost Atlanta? A mid-round 2026 draft pick? Maybe a pick swap? If the price is right, this could be a low-risk, high-reward move for the Falcons. But there are some concerns to consider. Huff's struggles in Philadelphia weren't just about playing time. He wasn't as effective on his pass-rushing snaps, and there have been rumors about how well he fits into different defensive schemes. But here's the key. Jeff Ulbrich knows exactly how to use him. If he believes Huff can return to his 2023 form, this could be an absolute steal for Atlanta. What do you think, Falcons fans? Should Atlanta take a chance on Bryce Huff and see if he can help fix our pass rush, or should they stay away from this move? Drop your thoughts in the comments. A brutal end to the season, but a silver lining. We all know how tough last season was. 2 overtime losses, another losing record, and a whole lot of frustration. The Falcons were right in the playoff hunt for most of the year, only to fall short when it mattered most. But here's the good news. The Falcons have the 15th overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. That's a prime spot to add a key player to this roster. What will the Falcons do with pick number 15? If history tells us anything, Terry Fontenot loves offense. Since taking over, he's drafted Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan Robinson, and Michael Penix Jr. in the first round. But this year, that streak might have to end. The Falcons desperately need defensive help, and there are a few obvious names that could be in play at pick number 15. Michael Williams, edge, Will Johnson, CB, Mike Green, DL, Shamar Stewart, edge. At this point, it would be shocking if the Falcons don't take a pass rusher or cornerback, considering the state of the defense. Fixing the defense is a must. Atlanta has serious cap issues and needs to rebuild its secondary around A.J. Terrell and Jesse Bates III. That makes Will Johnson a great option if he's available. But is pass rush the bigger priority? Should the Falcons go after an edge rusher instead? One thing's for sure, this draft pick could be a game changer for Atlanta's future. Falcons draft strategy: fixing the pass rush or going all in on SEC talent. If Will Johnson is still on the board at pick number 15, he's arguably the best true cornerback in this draft class. But if the Falcons are serious about fixing their pass rush, then guys like Michael Williams, Mike Green, or Shamar Stewart could be the answer. Any of these players would make an immediate impact and give Atlanta's defense a much-needed boost. The pass rush has been a problem for years, and if the Falcons want to compete in the NFC South, they must find a guy who can consistently get after the quarterback. And that SEC-heavy draft could change everything. Now let's talk about an interesting scenario, one that could turn the Falcons into the best team in the NFC South overnight. Imagine Atlanta going all in on an SEC-heavy draft, targeting elite talent from the conference that dominates college football. If they take this approach, the Falcons could end up with a loaded draft class, filling their biggest needs with top-tier talent. First round, James Pierce Jr., Edge, Tennessee. At pick number 15, the Falcons could land James Pierce Jr. from Tennessee. Pierce is an absolute monster off the edge. While some analysts rank Abdul Carter and Michael Williams slightly ahead of him, Pierce's ability to pressure the quarterback is undeniable. Let's be real, Atlanta hasn't had a true pass-rushing threat in years. Adding Pierce would instantly change that. Second round, Trey Amos, CB, Ole Miss. In the second round, the Falcons could target Trey Amos, a cornerback from Ole Miss. Let's be honest, after A.J. Terrell, this secondary needs a serious upgrade. Amos has the size and physicality to be a game changer. He can press at the line, lock down receivers, and make plays on the ball. With Terrell as his mentor, Amos could develop into a star in this defense. Fourth round, Smail Mondon Jr., LB, Georgia. By the fourth round, Atlanta could go after Smail Mondon Jr., a linebacker from Georgia. This guy plays with an edge and has the kind of energy that could make him a fan favorite. The Falcons have struggled with injuries at linebacker, and Mondon's ability to cover tight ends and fly around the field would be a huge asset. He's a little undersized, but his athleticism makes up for it. Seventh round, Arian Smith, WR, Georgia. And finally, in the seventh round, why not take a shot on Arian Smith, a wide receiver from Georgia? If you like speed, this is your guy. We're talking about a sub 4.3 40-yard dash type of speed. He's raw, but that kind of elite speed is worth taking a gamble on. The Falcons could use a guy who can stretch the field, and Smith has the potential to become a dangerous deep threat. Final thoughts. If the Falcons go all in on an SEC-heavy draft, they could walk away with game-changing talent on both sides of the ball. What do you think, Falcons fans? Should Atlanta focus on fixing the pass rush, or should they stack their roster with top SEC talent? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Falcons' draft strategy: more picks, veteran trades, and a big decision. But why stop there? The Falcons could also explore trades to accumulate more draft picks. With limited draft capital this year, Terry Fontenot might try to move back in the first round to secure additional selections. Trading for veterans, a smart move? Atlanta could also consider trading for veteran playmakers to bolster the defense. Free agency will play a major role in shaping their draft strategy, but one thing is crystal clear: this team cannot afford another disappointing draft class. The NFC South is still wide open. The Buccaneers look strong, but they're not unbeatable. The Saints and Panthers? Both teams are dealing with big question marks. If the Falcons nail this draft, they could position themselves as legitimate contenders in the NFC South. But it all starts with making the right picks and fixing the biggest weaknesses on this roster. Falcons fans, we want to hear from you. Should Atlanta finally focus on defense in the first round? Will Terry Fontenot surprise us again with another offensive pick? Would you be on board with an all-SEC draft strategy? Should the Falcons trade back and collect more picks? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's discuss. And don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more Falcons updates. Go Falcons!